So, what if I told you that one of the most common pieces of self-help advice you hear today, the one that says you're the average of the people you hang out with, was actually written down almost 2,000 years ago? Well, today we're diving into that ancient text, the Sutra on Correspondence and Affinity. It's a pretty big idea, and it forces you to ask a really fundamental question, one that gets right to the heart of this ancient teaching. Does your social circle actually define who you are? Yeah, you've probably heard this one a million times, right? Maybe from a podcast, a business guru, a book. It's this idea that the people we surround ourselves with have this massive, undeniable impact on our mindset, our habits, and yeah, even our character. But here's the kicker. This is not some new concept from a modern influencer. Not even close. This very same idea was laid out with incredible clarity in a Buddhist text from almost 2 millennia ago. This is the text we're getting into. According to the records, these teachings were originally spoken by the Buddha himself. They were later translated into Chinese by a monk named Fa Ju, which puts this written version somewhere in the 3rd or 4th century. We're talking way, way back. Now, the really cool thing about this sutra is its central message, which gets repeated over and over again, almost like a drumbeat. It uses these 4 key phrases that basically translate to people are similar, they cluster together, they correspond with one another, and they find affinity in each other. And here's the crucial point. The text isn't giving advice just yet. It's just making an observation. It's stating what it sees as a natural law of the universe. The Buddha noticed that, whether we're wise or unlearned, we just naturally gravitate towards people who are like us. It's almost like a kind of social physics, like attracts like. And to make this principle absolutely impossible to miss, the Buddha doesn't get lost in complicated theories. Instead, he just lays out a series of stark opposing pairs. It's like he's holding up a giant mirror to all of humanity to show us exactly how we sort ourselves into groups. Let's take a look. He starts with the foundation of it all, knowledge. The unlearned, he observes, they just naturally drift towards each other. And on the flip side, the learned do the exact same thing, creating their own little worlds of understanding. Then this principle goes deeper, right into our most basic human drives. The lustful, he says, they find their own company. And just as you'd expect, those who practice restraint naturally form their own, very different circles. The same thing holds true for our emotions. People who are prone to anger and frustration, they will inevitably cluster together, kind of amplifying that energy. Meanwhile, the peaceful and calm, well, they'll find comfort in each other's company. And then there's the big one, wisdom versus its opposite. The foolish correspond with the foolish and the wise with the wise. You can really see the pattern emerging here, can't you? It's all just a reflection of our own internal state. The pattern keeps going, right into our actions toward other people. Generous folks find themselves drawn to other generous people, while the stingy, well, they create their own separate, closed-off world. It even applies to our relationship with stuff. Those who are driven by wanting more and more, they all gather together. And you guessed it, those who find peace in simplicity and having few desires, they find their own community too. This one is huge. It brilliantly shows how our core ethics really do shape our world. Those who are unethical, who don't follow a moral code, they find each other. And of course, those who are ethical and live by certain principles, they find their own tribe. Okay, this next one is fascinating. The sutra talks about the hard to support. You can think of them as high maintenance or just difficult people. They assemble together. Meanwhile, the easy to support, the easygoing ones, they assemble together too. In the exact same way, the perpetually discontented, the people who are just never satisfied, find themselves in each other's company. And their opposites, the contented, the people who appreciate what they have, they form their own peaceful circles. And finally, the text brings it all down to a core personal quality. The undisciplined, they group together. And the self-disciplined, those who practice self-control, they also group together. It's just a consistent, powerful observation over and over again. Okay, so after painting this incredibly vivid picture of how we all sort ourselves, the text makes a crucial turn. It pivots from just being an observation to becoming a powerful, direct instruction for anyone who's serious about personal growth. This is it. This is the call to action. The Buddha says a wise person sees this pattern. They see these causes and effects, and they make a choice. They practice what is practicable and do not practice what is not. In other words, they consciously choose their path. So what we're left with is a clear, three-step strategy for growth. The text is basically telling us that wisdom isn't just knowing this stuff, it's about applying it. First, just observe who you hang out with. Second, understand the underlying reasons, the shared traits that are pulling you all together. And third, with that knowledge, you can consciously choose your path and your company. And this brings us right back to where we started. This nearly 2,000-year-old text is suggesting that the people you surround yourself with are a mirror, reflecting your own qualities right back at you. So the final question it leaves us with is a really powerful one. When you look into that mirror, what do you see?